All right, let's get right to the floor show and bring in our traders to talk about all of this and the green on the screen. Joining me now, trader Keith Fitzgerald and Great Hill Capital's Tom Hayes. Tom, look, regardless of a tarnished brand and the long-term effects of that, these back-to-back gains sure feel good, right? I mean, you've got the VIX falling again, back below at least earlier 28 at the moment. Yep, it's almost below 27 right now. Remember, it hit a high of 60 earlier this month. Bond yields are dropping, at least on the long end. What's not to love, Tom?
What's not to love? This is an example of the VIX crush and one more example of getting paid for being greedy when others were fearful. You had a couple other things out there today, Liz. First and foremost, you had Governor Hammack from Cleveland talking about maybe alluding to a cut in June if the labor market deteriorates. That's confirming what Waller said. The market really likes the idea of a June Fed cut. And it's very interesting about this correction, Liz, because this was the first time that I've seen in my long career that professionals were actually more scared. They were abject fear 2 weeks ago, and retail investors were actually net buyers. And retail investors, believe it or not, have been the ones that are on the right side of the trade since COVID. They've been buying weakness, and they've been right, and this time will be no different.
Well, yeah, the retail investor is buying. The hedgies had been liquidating. They didn't want to be caught flat-footed, or maybe some of them were. Keith Fitzgerald, you too have had a long Wall Street career. What do you learn from this? Because 3 days in a row is really lovely, but we know that bottoming out processes take a long time.
Well, they do, and that's really the lesson here. I mean, it's 45 plus years for me. I've been doing this, and fortunately, we've gotten a lot more right than we've gotten wrong. But, the lesson I take away from this is bottoming is a process. It's not a switch. There's no all clear bell when it rings. So you want to constantly play, to Tom's point, when others are fearful, you want to be greedy. And time again, the best companies move ahead, which is why you're seeing traders trying to get ahead of it today.
Yeah, and you do want to focus, Tom, on things you actually can control. And what do you feel you can control when you certainly can't control, as we put it, the he said, she as in XI, Xi Jinping of China, that we really aren't sure exactly what the true story is at the moment?
Yeah, Liz, well, I learned early in my career that good things happen to people who buy great companies when they're marked down on sale. And what you saw 2 weeks ago was one of the sales of a lifetime. And people were comparing it to the great financial crisis. They were comparing it to the tech wreck. And the fact of the matter is, those were years and years of excess buildup. This was started with a tweet. It could end with a tweet. We saw tweets today about positive talks with South Korea, positive talks with India. So we want to buy high quality businesses marked down, and there's still quite a few of them on sale right now.
The econo data is rear view mirror looking, but we did just get durable goods, Keith, and the durable goods orders for last month skyrocketed well beyond what was expected. A lot of that was sort of front loading, whether it was companies who were putting in a ton of orders ahead of what they perceived would be the tariffs that President Trump had threatened. So you're looking at something like that. They surged 9.2% in March, well above the 2.0 forecast. So what do you suspect is happening right now, and how do you not get caught sort of too deep in the water with certain companies that may shut down their inventory buildup?
That's a very interesting question. We learned a very powerful lesson out of COVID. We used to have just-in-time deliveries, but what you're seeing, this big surge in my takeaway, is just in case. So they're moving ahead. They're doing what they should be. And the companies that have margin power, protection power, customers that actually like what they produce are going to come out of this just fine. It's the guys that are ordering, the extra window cleaning solutions that you worry about, because maybe they're doing it, they don't have credit. Maybe they don't have the right cash flow. They're stockpiling something. That's the wrong move here. If you're doing it because of customers, then that's the stuff I'm going to be all over.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk customers. Tom, you like PayPal. This is interesting. The CEO, Alex Chriss, was on stage right here at the Semaphore conference earlier today. I listened very closely to what he said. He's got 400 million customers. And what's important, I think, here is the fact that he said a lot of these customers are small businesses. And here's specifically what he said. He said, we are worried about rising costs that small business will face under the new Trump tariffs. So what do you see for the future of PayPal, which, sure, is up 3% today, but it has gotten hammered this month?
Yeah, this is still down 80% since the COVID highs. We love this business. Record free cash flow, record revenues, margins increasing. As you said, 425 million customers globally. When you take an Uber, Liz, that's PayPal. That's Braintree working in the background that they own. Venmo has become the Kleenex of peer-to-peer payments. Alex Chris ran small business at Intuit. That was a 35-bagger stock while he was the CEO. We know he's going to turn this around. They'll generate $7.5 billion of free cash flow this year alone, and they're going to buy back 20% of the company over the next 2 to 3 years. Your slice of the pie is going to get bigger and bigger with no new investment. We think this is a phenomenal opportunity. Their fast lane checkout is increasing conversion for small businesses. They need it. PayPal's got it. Alex Chris is a winner. You want to bet on him for sure.
Yeah, you're also betting on Boeing, which is actually up about 2%, even as Donald Trump says Boeing should default China over return planes. China's carriers have returned, I think around 2 planes, and more are coming back. They're not taking hold of them. But Keith, let's finish with you. What are you buying right now? I mean, I saw one of your favorites, Palantir, back above 100, earlier up 101. So that's interesting.
Well, one of the other key lessons I learned during my career, Liz, is you go where Wall Street is dumping hardest and fastest. And so to me, it's all the big names we talked about. It's Palantir, it's NVIDIA, it's Tesla. Those companies have been punished in recent weeks, I think unfairly, yet every single one of those businesses is continuing to power forward, I think is worth considerably more in the future. Tesla in particular, 3 to 5x by the end of the decade.
Oh, man. Palantir's at 106 and change right now.
Yeah.
That is one interesting moving target.
It is. And it's a great company to latch on to because it's doing all the right things at the right time that still doesn't have any viable competition. And if you look at customers, they're running to it, not away from it.
Gotcha. Yeah, we see that now. Hey, it's great to have you both. Keith, Tom, we'll see you again soon. Thank you.